Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from ZoZoStockWatch.com, and this is going to be your Let's Get Ready for the week ahead, May 6th through May 10th. So it was a good Friday for everybody after the jobs number propelled the market higher. Basically, it was a quiet week. But it picked up after Wednesday, after the Fed decision came out of leaving the rates unchanged. For Friday, the Nasdaq was up 127 points, the Dow Jones 30 up 197, the S&P 500 was up 28, the transports were up 171. As you can see from the heat map here from Finviz, courtesy of Finviz, we had Amazon up 3.2%, Facebook was up, Google bouncing back, Microsoft was up. A pretty broad-based market rally on Friday. Apple climbing 1.2%. Berkshire Hathaway was up. Some of the banks getting some buying here. So overall, a good broad market rally on Friday for the bulls. So as mentioned, Friday was the jobs number. Jobs surge in April. Unemployment rate falls to lowest since 1969. The jobs number came in at 263,000. Estimate was for 190,000, and 3.6 was the jobs number for Friday, and that moved the markets up. We also had the Fed on Wednesday holding rates steady, unchanged on the rates. Fed leaves rates unchanged. That came out on Wednesday. Fed holds rates steady, citing lack of inflation pressure. So just no inflation pressure out there. But Friday we got comments from Larry Kudlow and Vice President Pence. Says the Fed should cut interest rates, reconsider its dual mandate policy. Those comments coming out Friday from Vice President Pence. Over the weekend, and we are getting some North Korea news this weekend. North Korea launched several unidentified short-range projectiles. South Korean military says. And another article here from the Post, the New York Post. Kim Jong-un tells North Korea troops to keep high alert posture. So we have North Korea on our plate over the weekend. Some other news we found out this week that Berkshire Hathaway has been buying some shares of Amazon. Warren Buffett says that moved Amazon up this week and buoyed the markets to move up higher on Friday. We had a IPO come out, Beyond Meat. IPO came out Friday and did very well. Beyond Meat surges 163%, best IPO so far 2019. Sorry, that was on Thursday. And then over the weekend, we get Warren Buffett looked at Uber investment 18 months ago, but passed. And Uber will be coming out with their IPO this coming Friday. This coming from CNBC. So let's go and take a look at some of the action for the week in our sectors. So for the week, KWEB, the China Internet ETF, for the week was up almost 3%. TAN, the solar sector, was up 2.5% for the week. Social media ETF up a little under 2.5%. The KRE, the regional banking ETF, was up over 2%. The IWC, the micro caps, for the week was up almost 1.5%. The semis kept moving up a little under 1.5%. IWM, which we'll look at the chart of that in a moment, climbing a little under 1.5% for the week. The software portfolio ETF was up 1.33%. Steel stocks, the steel sector moving up 1% this week. To the downside, we had gold moving down, JNUG taking a hit, down 16%. The OIH, the oil services sector, such names as Schlumberger, Halliburton, Rig, that was down 5.5% for the week. Oil was down 2% for the week, and silver was down a little under 1% for the week. Nat gas was down, UNG down a little under 1%. Gold itself, GLD, down about 0.5% for the week. For some of our S&P sectors, the XHE, the healthcare equipment sector, for the week was up almost 3%. The XHB, the home builders, climbing over 2.5%, 2.62% there. Airlines having a good week, up over 2% for the week. To the downside here, the XOP, oil, gas exploration, down over 5%. The XLE, energy sector, down almost 3% for the week. The XLC, communication services, was down a little over 1% on the week. Here's a weekly chart of the SPY. As you can remember, we've been talking about the bounce from the 200 SMA when it happened on the SPY, and here we are right back at all new time highs for the SPY. We closed at 294. Sorry, we had a high of 294.95. We're at 294.03. The previous high for the SPY was 293.94. So we are at new all-time highs on the SPY on this move from Friday. So if you look at the weekly chart of the SPY, we've been holding above the 10 SMA on this run on the weekly. If we go ahead and look at the daily chart for the SPY, we came down. We got the test, as we talked about in previous videos. We got that test of the 20 SMA area. We bounced off of that and right back above the 10 and the 5 EMA here on the SPY. A lot of things that the bulls like. One of the things I should say is the IWM starting to come out of this consolidation. We have been holding above the 200 SMA, holding above the 5 EMA here on the IWM. Let's look at it on our weekly chart for the IWM. So we cleared above the 50 SMA here on the weekly chart for the IWM. Let's look at the IWC, the micro caps, which had a good week. We're holding above the 10 SMA here, trying to get back above the 100 SMA on the weekly chart. Let's look at it on the daily chart. So the IWC is coming up against the 200 SMA here. The 200 SMA is 96.52 on the daily chart for the IWC, the micro caps. Another thing that the bulls wanted to see this week was the IYT, the transportation index, getting back above the 10 SMA here. We are still below that 200 spot on the IYT, but nice recovery here by the bulls, recapturing the fast moving averages on the IYT. XLF showing good strength this week. Let's go ahead and look at it on our daily chart here. The XLF breaking out of consolidation, coming up over that $27 spot, now pushing up and holding the fast moving averages, the 5 EMA, 10 SMA, and your 20 SMA. Let's go ahead and look at it on the weekly chart, the XLF. So we broke out above the 10 SMA here. We're holding above the 50 SMA, that $27 spot. Up ahead, we do have that $29 area for the XLF, the ETF for the banking sector. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. This coming from TradingView charts. As you can see, Bitcoin clearing 6,000 over the weekend, holding above 6,000 currently on Bitcoin. We'll go ahead and check the semiconductor sector, SMH, the ETF. We came up to that 120 spot on the weekly chart here. We are definitely a little bit over bought here on the SMH, but right now we're in this little bit of a flag consolidation, holding above the 10 SMA on the SMH. Let's go ahead and look at it on the daily chart. We broke out above this resistance back here. We pushed up above it. We came back, checked it, that 115 area, and now we're back above the 10 SMA and the 5 EMA here on the SMH. Just VIX, I'll show you the weekly chart of the VIX, basically with that 12 handle on the VIX. So, we did get a push up above 15 this week, but they brought us right back down after the jobs number, and the Fed not doing anything with interest rates drove the VIX right back down. So really just no fear, very complacent out here in the markets right now. So let's go and get into our best stocks for the week. First up is LOV after announcing their earnings. This is a home furnishings and fixtures stock. A big move up almost 50% on LOVE. PI climbing this week up 38% for the week. WW announced their earnings. Weight Watchers up 28% for the week. Shopify had a very strong week, up 19% after they released their earnings. A lot of shorts caught leaning the wrong way. I believe Citron is short this name on SHOP, so the stock climbed 19% for the week. ZM, a recent IPO, climbing almost 20% for the week. BE, a recent IPO, this stock moving up 24%. SLGG, this stock moving up almost 18% for the week. Another IPO. Lyft, also moved up, a recent IPO this week, climbing back 9% for Lyft. ENPH had earnings this week, stock climbing 33% for the week on ENPH. Tesla grinding back here, up 8% for the week as Elon Musk doing an offering and buying shares in Tesla. XXII came out this week with some good news and moving the stock up 19% on this name. STX released earnings, stock moving up 10% this week. SMG over in the cannabis space, Scott's Miracle Grow pushing up 11% for the week. PRPO had a strong week this week, stock up 64% on that name. ATEC moving up 19% for the week. ABIO came out with phase 2B news on ABIO, and they pushed this one up 102% for the week. DFFN came out with news that they had sufficient cash through July on DFFN, stock moving up 46% on this name. DRRX will report phase 2 trial information on Tuesday, May 7th. So prior to that, this stock moving up 44% for the week on that phase 2 trial, possibly being released on the 7th of May. GTHX plans to submit new drug application to the FDA. So this stock moving up 16% for the week. SESN, phase 3 new data release here. That's going to be coming out on May 13th on SESN. Stock moved up 18% on this name. NOVN will receive a 25 million upfront money and also an additional 10 million if they get positive data from their phase 3 on NOVN. This stock moving up 42% for the week. RHE also climbing this week, up 52% for the week. MFCB climbing this week, a big move up here, 55% on this name. IDRA also moving up 34% for the week. IMV had a good week, climbing 31% for the week, and TAIT had a very strong week, up 49% for the week on Tate. SUNW over in the solar space, climbing 51% for the week, and that's some of your best stocks for the week. Some of your worst stocks for the week that passed: Tiger, TIGR, recent IPO, down 21% for the week. EB, another IPO, came out with earnings, even Eventbrite, this stock dropping 20%. FLR, the CEO is leaving. They came out with, they missed earnings by quite a bit. I believe it was like 50 cents they missed by. So this stock dropping 26%. And like I said, the CEO is leaving Floor FLR. CTSH, this stock came out with earnings, dropped 19% for the week. ANET, this stock dropping 13% for the week. Yeti came out with earnings, a recent runner here, pulling back about 10% for the week. BLIN also moving down about 34% for the week. FTR, Frontier Communications, dropping 22% for the week. Recent IPO, GNLN, this stock cannot get going, down another 21% for the week. IGC, this stock dropping 16% over in the cannabis space. NBEV got hit this week after they announced that offering, down 7% on NBEV. CANF, this stock moving down 31% for the week. Announced a 1 for 15 reverse split on this name, and that will be happening on the 10th of May. So CANF moving down 31%, but they did announce a reverse split. That will be taking effect on the 10th of May. ZLab, they're doing an offering, dropped this one down 6%. Ears also announced an offering right after they announced the reverse split on Ears. Then they announced an offering. They got a CRL from the FDA on this name. That's a complete response letter the FDA was requesting, so this stock dropping 30%. We also had an NBRV also getting a CRL from the FDA, so this stock dropping 22% for the week on that name. INNT, they announced an offering, this stock dropping 17%. MBIO, also an offering here, down 16%. MGTA, also doing an offering, down 12% for the week. VIOT had made a strong move a few weeks ago. Now the stock dropped this week, down 19% on that name. TWST, a biotech IPO, this stock dropping 19%. Lastly, we'll leave it at VTGN. This stock dropping 48% for the week. They failed to meet their primary endpoints for a phase 2 on VTGN. So that stock taking a hit this week. And that's some of your worst stocks for the week. Economic calendar, courtesy of the Trade Exchange news service. So this is a real nifty calendar. I put it out on my Twitter feed, ZoZoStockWatch. If you want a copy of it, the link is provided out there on my Twitter feed. So if you go ahead and click on where it says earnings, you get a drop-down menu of all the earnings that we'll be reporting each and every day. So let's go ahead and take a look at Monday. We'd get some Fed speak coming out. Charles Evans, Patrick Harker will be some Fed speak for Monday the 6th. Not too much as far as economic information for the United States. Japan PMI manufacturing will be coming out later in the evening. We also get China with their CPI, PPI coming out on Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern Time. So that'll be closely watched. We do have the China trade talks, which will be continuing this week in Washington. So that will start on Wednesday for the China trade talks. That will be going on. We do get European data will be on watch this week. As you can see, the PMI numbers coming out from France and Germany. That'll be closely watched for the week ahead. And then on Thursday, we get Jerome Powell speaking, Thursday the 9th, so that'll be closely watched. A little more sprinkling of Fed speak as the week continues. Pretty straightforward as far as the economic information coming out from the United States. But make note, Jerome Powell will be speaking at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 a.m. in that area for Thursday the 9th. And then on Friday, we get the 8:30, we get the CPI numbers coming out on Friday. Thursday, we get PPI numbers coming out for Thursday. So that's some of your economic information provided by the Trade Exchange. Some of your top earnings that will be coming out courtesy of Earnings Whisper. We got Tyson coming out. Bausch & Lomb Health will be coming out with earnings. Oxy will be coming out with earnings after the bell on Monday. Glue, GLUU, symbol there. Guess, GES. Hertz will be reporting earnings after the bell on Monday. Tuesday, we get Electronic Arts. Lyft will be reporting earnings Tuesday after the bell. Match will be reporting Tuesday after the bell. Chesapeake Energy, CHK, before the bell on Wednesday. After the bell, Walt Disney, Disney, DIS, Roku, Etsy will be reporting. Stamps.com, that got hit real bad on their last earnings report. Last earnings report had announced the share buyback. Let's see what here HEAR has in store for us this earnings report. We get on Thursday before the bell the trade desk. We get Cronus Group, CRON, over in the cannabis space, reporting earnings Thursday before the open. Overstock.com, Cardinal Health, Tapestry also reporting Thursday after the bell. Dropbox, Bookings, Holding. We also get GoPro, SunPower, Symantec. Friday before the bell, JD.com, symbol JD there. Marriott will be reporting earnings Friday. So the earnings parade continues there when companies will be having their conference calls. Go to earningscast.com calendar. You can pause the video here. You can see that link, and this gives you most of the companies that will be having their conference calls and the time of day. This one's showing you for Monday, but you can go through each and every day and see the different conference calls, and this coming from Earnings Cast. So, as you know, over the weekend, this news coming from the Trade Exchange, their news box, they had the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting to take stage. That happened on Saturday. Friday after the bell, we did get a little bit of news, not too much. EYEG filed Form S3, 50 million mixed shelf. Berkshire Hathaway operating earnings rose 5% in quarter one. We did get some comments out from Berkshire Hathaway over the weekend. As I scroll through, I'll give you that comments that came out. ACD also had news. Let's see, Postmark filing a shelf registration, so they're looking to do an offering here on ACAD. I believe this stock was moving down. Moving down in the after hours on Friday. TSN, almost 12 million pounds of Tyson chicken strips have been recalled, so contamination there for Tyson. Let's see, Berkshire Hathaway repurchased about 1.7 billion of stock in quarter one. Warren Buffett took a look at Uber, as we mentioned earlier in the video, but passed. He made some comments on Kraft Heinz. Warren Buffett says auditor hasn't approved Kraft Heinz financials. There's something going on. That coming from CNBC. Let's see. We had some comments from President Trump about Putin over the weekend thus far. We'll keep scrolling. CONE filed an S3 mixed shelf offering there. There's your 40 million common stock filed by ACAD Form S3 on that one. Some top insider purchases hitting the tape Friday. HC, UNH, SBH, Farm, STAA, BSRR. So some insider purchases there. Let's see, we got comments from President Trump on the infrastructure plan. You can pause the video, but may move U.S. concrete and U.S. steel up on Monday. Keep an eye on that. So on the 2 trillion for the infrastructure, the comments being made by President Trump. Buffett and Munger have a regret. One that got away was Google, so comments there over the weekend at their annual meeting. Buffett asked about the Amazon purchase, says Berkshire is still a value investor. Buffett says he isn't going to second guess Wilshire and combos for their stock pick. So it wasn't Buffett that bought Amazon, it was the folks that work under him, but I guess he's backing them. He got some questions on WFC here at the shareholder meeting. You can kind of pause the video and read those for yourself. Comments on Amazon, wonderful business on Amazon. And let's see, what else did we have as far as some news that came out? U.S. and China trade talks will be continuing for the week ahead. Buffett on Elon Musk's suggestion that Tesla might get into the insurance. The automakers getting into insurance would be as successful as insurers getting into the auto industry. So, some comments there on Elon Musk wanting to get into the insurance business by Warren Buffett. So, we'll leave it there. This is Mike from ZoZoStockWatch.com. I hope you're more prepared for the week ahead than you were before. Once again, this news coming from the Trade Exchange. Have a great week ahead, everybody. I'll be doing a stocks to watch video that will be coming out next. And have a good day trading on Monday. Hope you're more prepared for the week ahead than you were before.